course.
amazing.
Listen, let's go back to your past, man. Like, you're the first black person I heard say they lived in a trailer park. I didn't know. Was it the hood trailer park, man?
Yeah,
it was a hood trailer park.
In the South, especially in North Carolina,
Right.
it's like this. I can't speak for like Atlanta. I'm not from there, but
Right.
in North Carolina, it's like this. That was my first glimpse of the hood. This
Right.
is not Eminem 8 Mile, like
It was grimy.
yeah, man, this shit was fucked up, man. This shit was fucked up. I mean, no disrespect to
Right.
like people that's still in the trailers and shit, but that's what it is. It's like, very affordable housing.
Right.
Very affordable
Which is
housing.
essential, and you can't laugh at people,
No.
the state of people's
I'm not
housing.
laughing. I'm talking about the neighborhood we lived in. It was fucked up. It was
Like
fucked
what
up.
was going? I mean, you were.
I was a kid.
Yeah, you were
I
a
was
kid.
But it's the reason why it has such a big effect on me is because I was coming from somewhere else.
Right.
I was coming from a military base. My father was in the army. My mother was too. She got out when she had me.
You were born in Frankfurt.
Born in Germany.
Okay.
But before I was 1, we moved back
Okay.
to Fayetteville. Fort Bragg is
Right.
where we lived. My parents separated before I was even conscious. Like they were never together while I was really alive. Like after we moved back, they were separated. When they got divorced, we had to move out of the not the barracks, the military quarters.
Right.
Because you can only live there
If you're married.
which if you're married. And that's real nice housing. It's like a nice neighborhood. It ain't no mansions, but it's like
safe.
it's safe.
Talk about how it's
Everybody
safe.
got jobs. Everybody got benefits because they all in the army. So when I'm 4 years old, we have to move. And it's me, my brother, and my mother, and we moved to Spring Lake, which is like this, little outskirt area of Fayetteville or whatever. We moved to the trailer park at Spring Lake. It was my first taste of like, oh shit, like this is nothing like where we came from. You know what I mean?
And at 4 years old, man, like, what do you know? But you knew the energy.
I knew the energy was not right, and I knew that my mother was the only white lady in the neighborhood, and there was no man in the house. And I was like, I could send the first time I went to the just to tell you the mind state of these kids, because they've been there. If they were 5 and I was 5, they've been there 5 years, and I've been there a year. So the mind state when I got there, when we first went to the playground, me and my brother. I mean, it seems like a silly story, but it's really potent to tell you the mind state of these kids, especially at that time. This was 1990. We go to the playground. My brother go off to like where the older kids his age was at. I go to where my kids was at. They was over by the slide. And I get to the slide. It's like a group of like 6 little boys or whatever, my age, like 4 or 5. And I'm trying to get up and go to the slide. I'm just trying to really scope the scene. And they're like, yo, man, you trying to join our gang? And I was like, what I got to do?
They wouldn't let you on the slide.
You got to jump off the slide first. Then you could be a part of
You
the gang.
gotta join the gang,
You got to
and then
join the gang.
slide
Then you
slide
can slide.
privileges.
Right, of course. Just to tell you the mind state. I'm like, yo, I ain't have to do this over there, man. I'm a jump.
Right.
Because I ain't no punk.
Right.
But I ain't never had to go through this. So that was my first taste of like, not just that, but like that's the first time anybody ever tried to break in the crib. First time I'm hearing gunshots at night. We ain't have to deal with that shit over in the other neighborhood.
And you could sense the stress. You could see the stress on your moms.
Nah.
Okay.
Not at that point. I couldn't. I was oblivious to that.
Right. But you felt the
I
stress.
felt it for her.
Right.
I felt like I was more aware of the danger than her. At 4 or 5 years old, I thought that she didn't know. And I thought that I had to be the person to like protect the house. I used to stand outside the house with the nunchucks. Like I had these little Ninja Turtle nunchucks.
Bruce Lee shit.
I had these Ninja Turtle nunchucks. But to me, when all the older dudes would walk by, they like 16, 17. In reality, they just minding their business.
Right.
In my mind, y'all niggas is looking at my crib.
Y'all are threats.
Y'all are threats.
Right.
So I'm standing outside the crib like with the nunchuck.
Were you nice?
And I mean, in my mind, I'm really one of the Ninja
What's
Turtles. I'm really one of the Ninja
Right.
Turtles in my mind. But I'm staring at them and ice grilling anybody that walks by, basically saying like, don't think about coming in this fuck house because I got these. You know what I mean? So my point is to say my mentality even at 5 was like, my mom is oblivious of what this really is, but I know. And I know we really in trouble. You know what I mean? So that was like my first taste of like what the world was really like.
Yeah. You ever speak to your biological?
For sure. We got a good relationship.
Good relationship?
Yeah, for sure.
It's funny, man. Like this album right now, in an indirect sense, your stepfather caused this album to happen.
Yeah, he did.
Let's talk about that, man.
Yeah, my stepfather, he came in on the scene when I was maybe in like 4th grade,
Right.
pretty early in my life, maybe 3rd grade, like pretty early. He was my mom's boyfriend, another dude in the army, and we hated him. You know, like
You and your
anybody,
brother?
yeah, me and my brother, we hated him because he was, you know, I mean, he was cool. That's the thing. We hated him, but he was cool as shit.
Why'd you hate him?
Because he was, he used to like, he was stiff. He was like a jerk, and he was like tough on us. You know what I mean? Like that. He was the disciplinarian. He was like, we was getting the whoopings from him.
Right.
Go get your switch. You know what I mean? This is like that. He was beating us with the switch. It wasn't nothing. I mean, in my eyes, we grew up in that era, so it wasn't crazy. Now that I'm older, I'm like, damn, this man is not my father. Why he putting his hands on me?
Exactly.
But at the time, it didn't feel like that. It just felt like the man of the house, like disciplined kids or whatever. So that's why we didn't like him. But at the same time, there was an underlying like and respect for him because he was cool as shit. He was older. He was not older and like an old man, but he was like, you know, in his 20s. He knew he had all the Ice Cube albums, Pac albums, Ice-T. He had the NW. He had Drake, Chronic, Crazy, Snoop. He had all the rap shit. He had system in his car. He always kept like a nice vehicle. He had like a 57 Chevy. Then he'll switch it up for the Nissan truck. Always keep a system. He had pit bulls. That's how we got on pit bulls. And my whole life we had pits was because of him.
Where's he from, man?
He's from Louisiana, small town Louisiana. But then he moved up with his pops in like Pontiac, Detroit, Michigan, which is hood. You know, it's super hood. So it's like,
that's a different breed of black man.
Different breed. Yeah. Some player shit. Like, you know what I mean? But from a southern, he's southern at heart, country nigga who went and got like some hustle from up north or whatever. And then went and did the smart thing in military, got a stable job or whatever. So there was like an underlining like, Mom, don't marry this fucking dude. But it was also like he's cool as fuck at the same time. You know what I mean? So but fast forward, him and my mom got married. Their combined incomes allowed us to move to a much better neighborhood than even where we was at. And we moved into Forest Hills Drive, which was like, you know, that shit was a mansion to me compared to where we was coming from.
I see the pictures. I mean, did it always look like that?
Yeah, I mean, and the inside wasn't as nice, but the outside was always like, you know, a very nice sight. Green grass, you know, trees. There was actually more trees back then. Nice driveway. There's a carport. We had room in the back for the dogs. We the only black people in the neighborhood. Like my neighbors was literally like this 80-year-old white lady. Across the street was two sisters. They was both like 80-year-old white ladies. To the left was like 70-year-old white couple.
How'd that feel, man?
Oh, I knew we was out. I knew we wasn't supposed to be there.
Right.
Like,
but did you take it like, yo, I'm here, motherfuckers?
Nah, it wasn't that attitude. It was more like, yo, we came up.
We came up.
Like, I ain't trying, you know, I don't know at any moment this could be gone.
Right.
I know we came up.
Right.
You know what I mean? I know that they've reached.
So it's appreciation.
It's appreciation. Right. Absolutely, because I got my own room. Me and my brother was sharing rooms before that. I got my own room. We got an upstairs, down. It's like amazing feeling, man, to be in that place. You know what I mean? So basically, that was like my middle school and high school days was spent in that house. But the senior year of high school, right when I was about to graduate, this guy tells my mom he got put on assignment to go to Thailand. He tells us, you know, in the Army, it's like sometimes it's random.
Right.
Sometimes they just tell you you're going somewhere.
Assigned and you get assigned.
Right. So he told her, you know, that he got assigned. At this point, their relationship was falling apart. Now that I look back, I see all the moments that was, you know, telling me. But he tells her he got put on assignment. In actuality, he put himself on assignment to get the fuck out the house.
Right.
And he told her it was for 1 year. In reality, come to find out later, it was 2 years.
Right.
So basically, he pulled that maneuver to like get out of the relationship. That was his way out.
Right.
I mean, I guess he had a heart to really just end it off. He had to do it like in a slick way, which is whatever. Every man got to make his own decisions.
Right.
But the agreement was with him and my mom that he would make the mortgage payments while he was gone, because when you overseas in the Army and you're married and you got kids or whatever, a family, you get something called separation pay. So the Army will give you an extra $1,000, $1,500 per check or per month, because they taking you from your family.
And you got to cover it for your family.
Yeah, it's like, we taking you from your family, here's extra. The Army will do that for you. So the agreement was between him and my mom, yo, you getting this extra check. This is, you know, your parents, two adults, they split the bills up. So you make the mortgage payments, I got this, that, and the third.
Right.
He goes away, and I go to college at the end of the summer. Through the Wire is the soundtrack for that summer, by the way. That was like 2003. He had just dropped that video. I just remember that because I used to watch that video a lot every day. I go away to college. About a month into college, I get a call from my mom, and she tells me, hey, I just, you know, she's distraught. You know, I could tell she don't even want to tell me because she don't want to bother me. Like, she don't want to feel like she's putting stress on her son as in college. Yeah. And she's like, you know, just to let you know, I got a notice in the mail that the mortgage payment has been made in like 3 months. It's $3,200. I don't got that type of money. No, it was 4 months. $3,200. I can't make it. I don't know what to do. So she just, so she got the news right there that A, the mortgage payments haven't been made, and B, she knows that her relationship is over in that moment. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like she understands that she got
blindsided.
She got blindsided. Yeah, she got blindsided like that. So it's the ultimate realization of both of those things. One, I'm losing this house because I ain't got that type of money to pay this. And two,
this relationship is
dead.
Just died.
Dead.
Right.
Yeah, it just died. So ultimately, that's how that house ended up getting foreclosed, like, a month or two after that. And she just packed up everything and moved out the house and got her own little apartment. And so that's how we ended up back here in the year 2014.
Right,
I bought back the house.
What year did you buy the house?
This year. This year. Summer.
Now, who'd you buy it from? Who was somebody?
I don't even know who owned it. I don't know who owned it. I never met the person. I had my homeboy who does real estate down there, like, handle it for me. All I knew was, because I've been looking into buying it for a while, A, my money wasn't really at the level to where I could just buy it like that. And B, it was always somebody in it.
Right.
It was always somebody in it.
But that was the house that you fell in love with.
For sure.
That was the best time of your childhood.
Definitely. Yeah, Lewis Street was amazing too. But this was when I grew into my own as like what I wanted to really dream about and like become was in that house.
You started rapping in that house?
I fell in love with the art of rapping in that house. And really
started producing in
that house. I fell in love with all of these things in that house.
Wet dreams in that house?
Wet dreams in that house. Not in that house.
But
that was the time.
Thinking about the wet.
You word up. Yeah, wet dreams in the house. Right. Yeah, right.
Some pornos in the house.
Pornos all over the house.
Mm-hmm. Hey, easy. Let's not go there.
Okay.
Let's not go there.
And some of his most appreciation at the house. I'll tell you, it's funny that you were able to buy because you said your neighbor was 70, 80. I was figuring somebody died over there. You got so many old people.
I know the lady directly next door definitely passed, but I ain't really know her like that. The two ladies across the street, really nice ladies, and they were sisters, and I know they passed too. It's a cool family that lives there right now. Another black family that lives over there now.
Do you really live there?
Nah, I don't live there. What we're gonna do is we're still working it out right now because it's obviously a detailed situation that I don't want to play with. It's a fragile situation I don't want to play with, but my goal is to have that be a haven for a family. So every 2 years, a new family come in and they live rent free. So the idea is it's a single mother with multiple kids, and she's coming from a place where all her kids is sharing a room. She might have 2-3 kids, they sharing a room. She gets to come here rent free. I want her kids to feel how I felt when we got to the house. Like, yo, that's
dope, man. Because I was wondering, like, yo, why you put your address on the album of the year?
Yeah, people could be showing up there next month.
By the way, tell people to stop going to my house and sitting on my roof and taking pictures.
Are they doing that?
And they still in the fucking street sign. They're taking pictures.
Yo, is it a Tumblr? That'd be a great Tumblr. Is that a Tumblr?
No, it doesn't need to be a Tumblr.
Yo, that would be a great Tumblr though. Come on, man.
Nah.
Wait,
y'all got to stop that. I'm not encouraging that.
Nah, for real, because I'm gonna shoot.
Wait, they're going on top of the roof?
They send it to you?
I've seen it. People showing me pictures.
We got a PSA that, listen, internets, get the fuck up off of the roof. You're going to fuck the drainage up over there. All the fucking problems. We don't need no issues like that.
We got pistols.
It's funny, when I heard the record Wet Dreams, man, the title is provocative, man, but it's such an innocent record, man.
Yeah, for sure.
And what I appreciate about it is, in my 40s, I'm like, it took me back to my first time.
You know
what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just love that it was magical that you could take me back to that point. And at the same time, my son just turned 18 yesterday. It took me back to like, what is he going through? And he don't really tell me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he had his wet dream or not. but it put me in his life.
Right.
Like, what is he going through? And what I love about the album, man, is I think timing is everything. You talk about the timing, putting it out in 2014, but when your album came out, man, it was Ferguson. It was Black Lives Matter. It was all these protests. And we don't hear music, particularly in hip hop, we don't hear music as a perfect soundtrack for what's going on. I think maybe because this generation hasn't really lived through turbulent times like we're living through right now.
That's real.
But I think your album, and I tweeted this several times, man, I thought your album was the perfect soundtrack for everything that happened in 2014, man.
Thank you, man. That's major compliment. I appreciate that. And obviously I couldn't predict when I started working in March what would happen.
Yeah, you couldn't predict none of that.
You can't predict that, but I do believe in God, and I believe that things line up how they're supposed to. You know what I mean? And I believe that my small role was meant to be. You know what I mean? Like that was meant to happen. And then not that it's over, because I'm you know, I want to be a vessel for a lot of creativity and a lot of like change and like a lot of inspiration, you know. But I feel like that was meant to be. Like you can't line that up any more perfect.
Right. And what, going back to that record, man, I thought it was intragenerational, man. It's like it crossed generations. I'm saying, so like I could appreciate it. I could see why younger kids would, because it's really for them. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
You say that you don't want to be the singular voice of your generation, but I think this album kind of, at this point, you know, here in January 2015, the spotlight is on you for being that voice of the generation. How do you feel about that, man?
You know what? I'll take it until it's not necessary. I can't run from that. I had a meeting in LA with like some business shit. And the lady I was meeting with, you know, a white lady, great woman. She was just like, how do you feel? You're the voice of, I was just like, yo.
Oh, you got tapped?
I got tapped.
You got officially tapped.
I'm like.
By white to be the.
Right.
Like when you.
Right. I was like, yo, it's, you know, but I'm learning that, okay, if you say that, I feel like I'm equipped. I'm the most equipped right now in this position. And if people need me to be that and be a voice, I'll do my best. Right. You know what I mean? I'm willing and I think I'm able to do that. And I'll be wrong sometimes and I'll talk out of my ass sometimes and misstep. Why? Because I didn't train for this.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm a rapper. I've spent my whole life dreaming about being the best rapper. But for the time being, I feel like I'm well equipped to say some shit because I think about this shit all the time. You know what I mean? And if you agree and if it connects with you and it resonates, amazing. If not, let's pray we got a lot coming up. You know what I mean? We got them. We got the Michelle Alexanders of the world.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And who wrote
the new Jim Crow.
The new Jim Crow. We let's hope there's a ton of her out there to come and lead us and, you know, and be like even clearer voices. Cause I don't got I'm learning. I'm trying to learn every day.
We don't have the answers.
Word up.
Sway. None of us have the answers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a good book that Raymond Santana from the Central Park Five suggested to me.
What was it?
It was called A People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn.
I just bought that on my phone.
Oh, yeah. Did you start reading it?
Yeah, I did. I only made it maybe through a little bit of the first chapter, but the reason why I really fuck with it is because I just started reading this other book before. I'm like in between a few books.
Right.
But I started reading this book called A Brief History or A Brief Account of the Destruction of the Indies. And it's written by this dude in the 1400s. And basically he's a priest from Spain who went to the Caribbean. And this is right after Christopher Columbus dumbass thought that he discovered.
When he Columbused America.
When he Columbused America, but he really ended up in the West, in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
He went there after, you know, he discovered that part that natives had already been living in for fucking Lord knows how many.
They was happy
as shit. But he goes there and he basically says, yo, people back home got to know what the fuck they're doing. And he gives like the only real detailed account of how they wiped out the native people, that, you know, what we would call Indians of the Caribbean. And it's so fucking sad and it's so horrible. But the reason why I fuck with the book you're talking about, People's History of the United States, which somebody just told me to get to, is because they start off the book right there.
Oh, talking about
the same thing.
Christopher Columbus and a genocider.
Yes, genocide. He literally wiped the people out, wiped them off the face of that whole entire Caribbean area. It's crazy.
Know, the reason why I suggested the book also, because listening to your interviews, man, it seems like you're really struggling to understand what the system is. And I think that book gives a very accurate and very clear picture of this system from day one. And it makes it a lot easier to see what's going on. You know, I've spoken about this before, but what you get, like what I've gotten from the book is, you know, what we see right now going on with police brutality, that's not a glitch in the system, dude. That's a feature. It's supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's just that a lot of people are becoming aware right now. It's like, wait, we got to fix this.
For sure.
But when you see these cops acting the way they are, they're supposed to act like that because nobody's ever checked them in the history of America's existence.
For sure.
It's the first time they're being checked.
For sure.
It's crazy, man.
And they hate it, by the way. And I get it because it's like, if you've been getting, and by the way, these are people.
Yes.
These are normal people. I got friends whose family members, whose fathers are police officers, and I know these are great people. You know what I mean? There's good people. But I was having a conversation with somebody, and I hear you 100% on that book, and I'm on it. I appreciate that advice. On the issue of cops, while we talking about it, you know, obviously we've been having a conversation, and I want people to know, like, because I got a homeboy that's like, man, fuck these cops. One of these niggas got to know. And I'm trying to let them know, like, yo, those are people.
Yes.
It's not, they got a job. The system has given them power. You're giving a person with flaws and their own biases.
Unchecked power.
Unchecked power. So that could be a good person. He could be a person with flaws. He just got this level of power. So
and power corrupts.
And power corrupts, absolutely. You know what I mean? Like it has to. I don't know. You gave me a gun and a badge. I might start wilding.
Free and like, yo, kill somebody. You be good. We got you.
I'm a new nigga.
We got you.
I'm walking down the street with a gun. I've been getting picked on my whole life. Y'all niggas used to bully me in high school. I remember you, nigga. Hands against the wall, motherfucker.
Cheer.
But my point is like, okay, you can have good. Oh, somebody was asking me like, don't you think there's good cops?
Of course.
But this is the thing. I think there are good and great people who are cops.
Right.
But I think the term good cop
is a conundrum.
It's an oxymoron.
Right.
Because the job ain't good.
The job ain't good.
The
machine. They are a part of a machine that's not good. They are agents of a machine that are not good. Are there good people in those roles? Absolutely.
Right.
Great people who really thought they were joining to make a difference and make a change. But now find themselves currently fucking up people's days and giving. I went to St. John's University, Queens.
When you went to St. John's, man, was it the opportunity to go to college, or was it the opportunity to come to New York?
It was to come to New York.
Right.
But I always knew I was going to college. That was like my mom ingrained that in me. She didn't go. My older brother didn't go. Nobody in my family had went, but she put it in me from young that I was going to school.
Right.
So I always knew I was going to school. I just always thought I would go to Carolina.
Right.
And when the time came to apply my senior year, I was like serious about the rap shit. So New York was like.
So college was a vehicle for your rap shit.
It was the vehicle, man, for sure.
And after college, man, you talked about how, you kind of lived a hard knock life, just trying to get your shit together, man.
Those were good times.
Having like these multiple jobs. You was an ad salesman, man?
Yeah, for fucking for newspaper.
Right.
For like a local Queens newspaper.
But what was that like? What was the job?
It was the fucking worst.
Hello, this is
and you didn't sell no ads, right?
Hell no.
You couldn't sell no ads.
I was on blogs, man.
Yo,
I was looking at rap blogs.
How long did you have that job, man?
I had that shit for a good year. It's maybe like 9 months. So my homeboys got me that job. Basically what happened was I graduated college. In my mind, I was like, all my friends was going to get their full 9 to 5s.
Right.
And I was like, everybody's asking me what I was going to do. I was like, man, I'm about to get signed soon. Like, I'm good.
Right.
My mom was even telling me like, what you going to, I'm like, Mom, I'm about to get this deal. It's cool. Dog, so 2-3 months go by. We just partying all summer. I'm not really focused. I'm not grinding because in my mind, I'm like, yo, I already got Lights Please. I got like these classic songs.
I'm a rap star.
not that I'm a star, but I know it's coming. I had such faith.
Right.
And then there was one night at a party. I'm drunk. I'm fucked up. And Eve and my homeboy RJ just came up to me and it was like a real intervention. And not that I was an alcoholic, but it was like an intervention on some nigga, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, what's up? Like, where's your focus? Like, what we doing? We just gonna party all the time? Like, you gotta get a job, nigga. You gotta like start working. And from that day forward, A, I went and got a little part-time job, $8 an hour. And B, I just, every day on the beats, 5, 6, 7 beats a day, writing raps every day. That's when I started the idea of the warm-up, I think, somewhere around that time. So yeah, I had that job. That was my second worst job. My first worst job was after that. I was a bill collector.
You was a bill collector.
Yes.
And you heard all these stories. Everybody had a story.
Everybody got
What's the worst story you heard, man?
Just like, a woman that has cancer or a guy that has cancer and he's basically telling me like he's supposed to die in 3 weeks. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting here calling him about a fucking $300 Kohl's bill.
For a vacuum.
Yeah, exactly. And he's telling me like, man, brother, I'm not even supposed to be here in 3 weeks.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
good luck with that $300.
He wasn't even an asshole about it.
Right.
Which is crazy. He was like apologetic. I wanted to be, and I can't, but I wanted to be like, I told him, as nice as I could, like, sir, don't worry about it as much as I could say that, but I wanted to be like, yo, fuck us.
this bill, yeah.
Fuck me. Fuck this job. This dude is apologetic to me.
Right.
And he's about to die in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And he's telling me, I'm sorry. It's just I've been really sick. Honestly, to tell you the truth, man, you know, and really heartfelt. I could tell he wasn't G'ing me. Because you could tell when people was getting over. Yeah.
Some of them
what's the best story you heard, man?
The best story?
Yeah. Like, what's the best G? Like, you know what? You came up with this one out your ass. You won, B.
When they pick up the phone by accident.
Nah.
Without screening the call ID.
No, I can't remember a specific one. But definitely you get some gangsters like, fuck you, like, you can kiss my ass. Like, they know the game.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they don't really give a fuck.
Now, when we first met last year, man, you said something that was interesting. You said during that period, man, you was reading the blogs and doing the blogs, and you talked about Dallas Penn.
Yeah.
And how he kind of carried you through some of those dark moments, man.
I wouldn't say carried.
But he entered, like, tell us about, because you know Dallas is a
where
family.
he at? I thought he was big.
Dallas ain't on the show no more. He's being Dallas Penn.
What the fuck? He's in these streets, man.
He's in these streets. He just got married, though.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
He's doing a bunch of shit.
So he's not in these streets.
No, but he's not. But Dallas always gonna be in these streets.
All right, cool. Nah, it wasn't. I just had to let him know when I seen him that I remember the shit he did. He was doing a couple things at the time, but he did some shit called like the Ghetto Big Mac.
Yeah. With internet celebrities.
Yeah. He was like, hello, internets.
Internets.
I just thought them dudes were so funny, man. Like, fucking weird and funny.
They were trying to get that special sauce from McDonald's.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's it, man. I just had to show them love. I like when when I see somebody and they wouldn't expect that I'm watching their shit or like listening to their shit, I gotta let them know. Like, yo, I remember this thing that you did. You know what I'm saying?